Imagine sitting at your breakfast table tomorrow morning, lifting your fork, and realizing that the food you've trusted for decades, the food you thought was the king of protein, the mighty egg, might not actually be your strongest ally anymore. Imagine discovering that there is a natural, affordable, and often overlooked food that carries nearly 10 times the protein power. A food so potent that even doctors, nutritionists, and researchers are astonished at its impact on male health after 60. I am not here to scare you, but as a medical doctor who has spent decades caring for men just like you, I must tell you, this truth can change your health, your vitality, and perhaps even your lifespan. Because what if I told you that many of the symptoms you quietly endure, low energy in the mornings, difficulty maintaining muscle mass, slower recovery after exercise, even those frustrating nights where intimacy feels more like a memory than a possibility, are not just signs of age. They are signals. Signals from your body crying out for the right kind of fuel. And most men over 60 are fueling themselves with the wrong things. Think about it. How many times have you heard that eggs are the perfect protein? How many mornings have you relied on them as the backbone of your diet, trusting that they are giving you all the strength you need? But here is the shocking reality. Science has uncovered foods that leave eggs in the dust when it comes to protein density and impact on male health. And one of them is so rich, so packed with life-building nutrients, that once you add it to your diet, you may feel changes in your strength, your energy, even your manhood, faster than you can imagine. I want you to picture this clearly. Your muscles firming again, your energy staying high from morning until night, your confidence in the bedroom returning with force, and your body fighting back against the slow decline of time. This is not fantasy. This is what the right food, the right protein, can begin to unlock in your body. And today, I am going to show you exactly which food has the power to do this. But before I reveal its name, you must understand why the discovery is so shocking to the medical community and why ignoring it could mean losing years of vitality. So stay with me, because the truth you are about to hear may be the turning point your health has been waiting for. Now that I have your attention, let me make something very clear. In the next few minutes, you will discover the identity of a food that carries nearly 10 times the protein of eggs, a food that not only nourishes your body, but also awakens your masculinity, supports your energy, and protects your health in ways you might never have imagined. As a doctor, I have seen countless men in their 60s and 70s regain strength, vitality, and even intimacy in their marriages, simply by making small yet powerful adjustments to their diet. And the most surprising part? This change does not require expensive supplements, complicated routines, or extreme sacrifices. It comes from something so natural, so accessible, that you may already have walked past it in the market without realizing the treasure hidden in plain sight. But let me be honest with you, this video is not just about naming a food. My promise to you goes deeper. Today, I will reveal not only what this food is, but also why it works, how it interacts with your muscles, your hormones, your circulation, and even your brain. Because after 60, every choice you make either pushes you closer to weakness and decline, or pulls you back into strength, confidence, and life. And my mission, as your guide and as your doctor here, is to show you the choices that truly matter. Stay with me until the very end, because I will open a window into something that most men never hear from their doctors. The truth is, traditional advice is often outdated, focused only on eggs, meats, and pills. What you will hear today is what I share privately with patients who want more than just survival. They want to thrive. They want to wake up without stiffness, to walk without fatigue, to feel energy flowing through their veins, and yes, to feel that fire of masculinity burning strong again. So here is my promise. By the end of this video, you will not only know the name of this extraordinary food, but you will also understand how to use it, how to combine it with your daily routine, and how it can transform the way you experience life after 60. I promise you will walk away with practical knowledge, backed by science and decades of clinical observation, that can help you reclaim what age has tried to take away. And the final secret, the part that makes this food even more powerful than you might expect, will only be revealed at the end, so don't miss it. I want to take a moment to speak directly to you, not just as a doctor, but as someone who has walked alongside men of your age for decades. I have seen the struggles, the quiet frustrations, and the questions that too often remain unspoken. We, men and women of medicine, know that after 60, the body begins to change in ways that can feel unfair. Muscles do not respond the same way, recovery after activity feels slower, and even the spark of intimacy can dim. But I also know something else. These changes do not mean you are finished. Far from it. As a urologist, I have spent countless hours listening to men in their 60s and 70s describe the same story. Doctor, I just don't feel like myself anymore. I still want to be active, I still want to be present for my wife, for my children, for my grandchildren, but it feels like my body has betrayed me. And yet, when we dig deeper, the solution is often not found in a prescription bottle, but in the food on their plate. That is where true transformation begins. I remember one patient, let's call him Roberto. At 65, he came to me convinced that his best years were behind him. He was tired, he struggled to keep his weight down, and intimacy had nearly disappeared from his marriage. But together we adjusted his diet, adding one powerful food I will share with you today. Within just a few months, he returned with tears in his eyes. Doctor, he said, my wife can't believe the difference. I feel strong again. I feel alive again. Stories like Roberto's are not rare. They are proof that your body can still respond, even after 60, if you give it what it needs. And here is where my experience matters to you. I am not speaking from theory or from something I read online. I have spent years in clinics, in hospitals, and in research, guiding men through these same challenges you are facing now. I know the science. I have seen the evidence. But most importantly, I have seen lives change. I have seen men who were ready to give up rediscover their strength, rebuild their confidence, and reignite their intimacy. So when I tell you that there is a food capable of unlocking energy, strength, and vitality in a way that even surprised doctors, you can trust that this comes from a place of knowledge, of science, and of compassion for your journey. Because I am not just here to inform you, I am here to walk with you step by step into a healthier, stronger, and more confident version of yourself. When a man crosses the threshold of 60, his body enters a stage that is both delicate and decisive. The same systems that once worked effortlessly, muscles growing strong, energy flowing without pause, hormones keeping vitality alive, begin to slow down. Testosterone, the hormone most closely linked to male strength and desire, starts to decline naturally. Muscles lose mass more quickly, bones can weaken, and fat seems to cling to the body in places it never did before. Circulation is no longer as powerful, and what once felt easy, whether climbing a flight of stairs or enjoying intimacy, suddenly demands effort. Many men shrug their shoulders and say, "It's just age, doctor." But let me tell you the truth. Age may explain the changes, but it should never be an excuse to give up. The problem is not simply growing older, it is fueling your body the wrong way during this critical stage. After 60, every meal you eat has more impact than it did when you were 40. Eat the wrong foods and you accelerate decline. Eat the right ones and you give your body a fighting chance to rebuild, to resist, and to thrive. The danger of ignoring this is serious. Men who dismiss these changes often find themselves caught in a vicious cycle. Loss of muscle leads to less activity leads to weight gain puts strain on the heart, circulation weakens, and soon problems in the bedroom and in daily life become harder to ignore. This spiral does not just steal vitality, it shortens lives. And yet, I have seen it reversed when the body receives the right fuel. What makes this even more critical is that protein, the foundation of muscle and hormone health, is often lacking in older men's diets. Many believe that eating 1 or 2 eggs a day is enough, but the truth is that eggs, while good, no longer provide the density of protein and nutrients needed to sustain a 60-year-old body in top condition. Without stronger sources, the body continues to break down faster than it builds up. And here is where the story turns from alarming to hopeful, because the decline is not irreversible. When you introduce foods that provide not only more protein but the right kind of protein, easily absorbed, rich in amino acids, supportive of hormones and circulation, the body responds. Muscles regain tone, energy flows stronger, intimacy is restored, and confidence returns. So before I reveal the food that has doctors amazed, you must understand this. The real problem is not aging itself. The real problem is failing to give your body what it desperately needs during this season of life. And once you see how powerful this solution can be, you will never look at your meals the same way again. Now let's dive into what truly matters: how this remarkable food works inside your body, and why it surpasses eggs by such an astonishing margin. For decades, eggs have been called the gold standard of protein, and while they are valuable, they are not the most powerful tool for men over 60 who want to reclaim energy and vitality. The food I am about to reveal is extraordinary because of 3 reasons: its protein density, the way your body absorbs it, and the benefits that go beyond muscle and energy. First, let's talk about protein density. Imagine taking one bite of food that gives your muscles the equivalent of several eggs in terms of building blocks. That means every meal where this food is present becomes a powerful investment in your strength. I have seen men who struggled to maintain even the simplest exercise routines suddenly find themselves building muscle again, not because they trained harder, but because their body finally had the raw material to rebuild. Second, absorption. Not all proteins are created equal, and not all proteins are absorbed with the same efficiency. Some sit heavily in your stomach, causing bloating and discomfort, while others pass through your system without delivering their full benefits. This food, however, contains protein chains that are broken down more easily, allowing your body to use them quickly for muscle repair, hormone support, and energy production. That is why patients often report not just long-term benefits, but a noticeable difference in how they feel within weeks of adding it to their meals. Third, and perhaps most surprising, are the additional benefits. Unlike eggs, which focus mainly on protein and fats, this food carries a spectrum of nutrients that support circulation, heart health, and even brain function. That means while your muscles grow stronger, your heart beats steadier, and your mind stays sharper. For men after 60, this is not just about looking fit. It is about staying alive, vibrant, and independent for as many years as possible. I recall another patient, Miguel, aged 71, who had resigned himself to using a cane because his legs no longer carried him with the same strength. We adjusted his meals, adding this extraordinary protein source several times a week. Within 2 months, Miguel walked into my office without the cane. He smiled and said, "Doctor, I never thought I would feel this way again." That transformation wasn't magic. It was simply the result of giving his body what it had been missing. And let me clear a myth. Protein is not just for young athletes. For men in their 60s and beyond, protein is survival. It is the shield that protects your muscles, the fuel that powers your hormones, and the foundation that holds your independence. Without it, decline is inevitable. With the right source, strength is reborn. So stay with me, because in just a moment, I will reveal the name of this powerful food and show you how to bring it into your daily life in a way that is simple, enjoyable, and life-changing. You have stayed with me until now, and you deserve the truth that so many overlook. The food that carries nearly 10 times more protein than eggs, the food that has stunned even doctors with its density and impact, is none other than spirulina. This extraordinary blue-green algae, small in size but enormous in power, has been called by scientists one of the most nutrient-dense foods on Earth. Why spirulina? Because gram for gram, it contains up to 10 times the protein of eggs, packed with all essential amino acids your body needs to rebuild muscle, fuel hormones, and sustain energy. But that is only the beginning. Spirulina also delivers iron for circulation, antioxidants that fight the damage of aging, and compounds that protect your heart and brain. For men after 60, it is like discovering a natural medicine chest hidden in a single food. I have seen patients who introduce spirulina into their diet regain not only strength but also a remarkable improvement in stamina and intimacy. Their wives often come to me first, smiling, saying, "Doctor, I don't know what you did, but he feels like himself again." That is the kind of transformation this small but mighty food can bring. It restores confidence, it restores vitality, and it brings back the joy of living fully. But let me emphasize something important. Spirulina is not a miracle pill. It is not meant to replace balance, exercise, or rest. It is a tool, a powerful ally, that works best when you make it part of a lifestyle committed to longevity. Blend it into smoothies, add it to juices, or take it in pure form. It is versatile, accessible, and effective. And here is the open loop I promised earlier. Most men do not realize that spirulina has another hidden gift. Beyond protein, beyond energy, it has compounds that may actually support healthy testosterone levels and reduce inflammation that silently robs men of vitality. This is why adding it to your diet can feel like turning back the clock. So my message to you, as your doctor and your guide, is this. Do not ignore this opportunity. You have heard the science, you have seen the stories, and now the choice is yours. Will you continue with the same habits, relying on foods that no longer meet the needs of your body after 60? Or will you embrace this new path, giving yourself the fuel to stand stronger, live longer, and feel alive again? If this message touched you, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Share your city, your age, or simply say, Amen, if you believe that strength and vitality can be reborn at any stage of life. And do not forget to watch the next video, where I will reveal another hidden truth about male health that could make the years ahead your strongest yet. Because after all, age is just a number. But vitality, that is a choice.